Hi everybody, this is inDesign 101.1 Simple Portfolio. We are going to make just a basic portfolio template today in inDesign. Just a little primer for those of you that may be a little rusty. If this is a review for somebody, hey, that's cool too. Maybe you'll pick something up. So I'm going to close this document and I'm just going to open up a new document. Okay, you come up here, new document. But see this little dude right here, Command N. That means it's a keyboard shortcut. If you're not familiar with them, they're all over the place in this software. So I would recommend that you learn some of them. So I'm clicking Command N right now. All right, and this is the new document panel. We're going to shut off facing pages because that makes like a book layout, left and right pages. And then we're going to come down over here and we're just going to select landscape. Okay, so we have a landscape, no facing pages, print, perfect. Hit OK, and here's our page. Okay, this is where we're going to start building our project. And first things I like to do is I like to get rid of the margins because I like to make my own. So I'm just going to fry the margins. So in a nice blank canvas. And if you're all the tools are over here. It's a classic Adobe software. There's a whole bunch of stuff over here. The pages is right here. You can sort of open them up and close them just by clicking on these things. So you want to open up the layers if you want different layers, or these are links when you start linking them. We'll get into that later. So you can see all the stuff you already know. First thing I do is save this thing because we're called untitled and we don't like that. So we could come over here, we could do save, Command S, but that's for newbies. I'm doing Command S from the keyboard right now. So let's just pull this down. Oh look, I already have a portfolio file. I could just start typing out portfolio, but of course I don't have to. I can just click on this image here and I'll get, it puts the name of the file I click on right up here. So whatever I have up here, I just click that and it becomes this. And the first thing you always want to remember is you want to version your files. Okay, every time you open these files, create a new version. You don't want to have one master version that you've done. So what it allows you to do, that if you make cool stuff one day and then you erase it the next day, there's no process, right? So we're going to version these files. That way you can go back to see stuff you've already done, and maybe if you like it better, you can pick up from where you left off rather than trying to recreate some earlier version. Get it? It also protects you from catastrophic loss, which you may have experienced when a file is corrupted. I certainly have. All right, so let's figure out what I'm going to do for my layout, okay? What I like to do is I like to take a look at some of the content that I have and then make some decisions about how I'm going to organize it. So the first thing I'll do is come over here to the File menu and this thing called Place, which you already know about, Command D. So I'm not going to actually click it on the menu. I'm going to do Command D, and I'm going to bring in some image. Let's go to, let's back this up. I'll just go out to my website. I've got a bunch of images out here that I've already used. Let's bring it out, work. Yeah, these images here. Let's pull out some of these images. So here we go. We got an image here. Now I could just click. If I just click, sometimes I'll make out. But if you have a really big image, the image would extend out beyond here, and that's a lot of trouble. So another way to place images is to just drag it until it gets to be as big as you want. Now this might work great for a project with multiple views, but let's just bring this thing in here, and that's a pretty good size. I'm feeling that. I'm liking that. Okay, so I've got that. Let's go to the Pages dialog over here, the Pages panel, and let's just throw a new page up here. Let's pull that up just a bit. Throw a little page in there, oh, it's got the same margin on it. Anyone know how to figure that one out? What you'd have to do is you'd have to go over here to the masters. You guys mess with those? Awesome. Superpower is afforded by the master pages. So what I'll do right now, see this little A that shows up there? That A refers to a master page. Let's just open up the master page and take a look at it. Doesn't look like much changed, but I have selected the master page. The master page has this margin that I don't want. So I'm going to come back here and just set the margin to 0. And then when I come back to this page, or I make a new page, every page I make is following the master. It doesn't have any pages. So go to the master again. Let's throw a center line in here somewhere. What are we looking at? 66. So a center line would be 33. So let's just throw a center line in here. Always nice to have. Zooming in and out, right? You know that. Command minus, command equals. You don't want to have to be, zooming in and out with the menus again. So I come over here. Now I have, because I put, I'm going over to the master. This is the master. Because I have a line here, that'll show up on all the rest of the pages. Pretty basic. So Command D again. It would be File Menu, Place. Okay. I'm just going to Command D, and we're going to grab this website. Yeah, I'm doing this website. Cool. So let's put this thing in place. All right, and let's line it up right on that line. Looks pretty good to me. I'm feeling that. That's working for me. But I have a bunch of different views of this website. So maybe I don't really want to, I don't want to put this as a big image, okay? So some images want to be just big images. Like take a look at this. Nice big image, okay? That works. But over here, I have a bunch of different pages. So I'm going to show the main page, and then I'm going to show some sub-pages. So the way I would do that is I would just drag this over here. Whoa, what happened? Okay, this blue box is the window that you're viewing the image through, right? See this little arrow on this side, little black arrow, the selection tool? Well, the direct selection tool, if I click on that, reveals that the image is actually different in a different space. So what we have is we have the direct selection, which is this blue box, and the direct selection is the brown box, and the selection is the blue box. So you have a window. This is the window, okay, and then this is what is viewed through the window. Very cool. So let's back up. I'm going to do back up, Command Z to where we were. Okay, here's where we are. Now, one quick note. Selection tool. See this little thing? It says V escape over there, and this says A. So if I click A, see how the frame turns brown? And then I click V on the keyboard, I get the window, and I hit A, I get the content. All right, so watch over here. A, V, A, V. So every tool has its own thing. So T is type, right? P is the pen tool. So let's bring it back to A, to V, which is the selection tool. All right, so memorize these things, right? Because you guys are geniuses and you don't have time to sort of go back and forth forever and ever and ever. All right, so I'm going to click on this. I got the blue box, which is the box for selection. And I'm holding down the Shift key on the keyboard. Hear this sound? That's my keyboard Shift key. And I'm just going to drag. I'm going to drag this up. I grabbed the wrong thing. Let me come back here, click off of it, click back on it. There we go. And I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. Oh, that didn't work. Well, there's an easy fix for that. Under Object, there's this thing called fitting. And if you don't know about this, this is amazing. All right, so there's a number of things. Fit frame proportionally, fit content. So frame is the blue box, content is the brown box, right? Fit frame to content. So I could make the blue box wrap perfectly to the brown box. Or fit content to frame, which is even better. All right, so I've changed the frame. Take a look. I've changed the frame, but the content inside is the wrong size. So I come up here to Object. Actually, I won't because I have a keyboard shortcut, which is, and I want to fit content to frame. It's, you know what this little thing is? I know, it confused me at first. Option. That's the Option key. So it looks like here's you have the selection between this choice and that choice. I think that's what that means if you look at that image. Okay, so then we have the Command Option E. All right, and boom, look at that. Snap. Perfect. All right, so that's looking good. I'm feeling good about that. Now let's bring in a few more images, okay? So what's that keyboard shortcut? Command D, right? Let's bring out a couple more of these things. Here's another nice one. Oop. Oh, what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. When I went to Command D, I had this box selected. So inDesign thought I wanted to throw this image and replace the other image, but I don't want that. So I'm going to do Command Z, right? And I'm going to deselect this box. I hit V to give me the selection tool, right? Just click somewhere to deselect. Command D. Let's bring in another image. Okay, and then I get to do something like this. Look at that, perfect. I get another layout right next to my original layout. Okay, let's, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's, oh, I get this thing stuck to my arrow. I hit the escape key on the keyboard. Okay, so if I have something, if I have it's basically a placed image, and I don't want to place it, I hit the escape key, but that doesn't really matter. All right, so I have this here. I've grabbed the, I have my little image, and say I have 3 thumbnails that I want to put in there. Okay, now I could copy and paste this thing, copy, paste, and then align it. Okay, that's a pretty easy way to do this, and then I can paste it again and realign it, and throw some new images in there. All right, let's try number 3. All right, that looks good. And number 6. All right, perfect. All right, so I have a bunch of images. They look pretty good. They're all lined up. Now, the Align tool, the Align panel, pretty awesome panel, all right? What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to position these things sort of relatively. Oh, well, look what happened. See, sometimes when I grab this thing, I move the content itself. You got to make sure when you grab it, you get the box itself. Okay, and I grab this thing and pull that up here, and I get these things sort of more or less aligned. And then I select them all. Okay, and I would just hit this. I just want to align them to the left, and then I want to distribute the spacing vertically so that they're all even. Look at that. And then once I get this in place, I could take all these things and I could group them, which would be under, again, I don't even know where these things are. Yeah, Object, Group, Command G. All right, I can group them together, and I have this and I have this group. Then I can select those 2 things and I can align them to the top. And now they're all pretty sweet. They're looking good. So I've got these things, and I'm going to select around, and I'm going to put them in place somewhere right there. All right, and I'm feeling that. But what if I wanted to make these things? I don't like how big they are. I could reposition all of them. You know, I could come here and I could go, oh, I'm just going to make this one a little bigger. Oh, look at that, it didn't work. I'm going to make this one a little bigger. Watch this. This is good. I select this. I make this one a little bigger. You know, that's a total mess. How come I can't scale these things? Well, there's some keyboard shortcuts that make that happen. Okay, Command and Shift will allow you to pull these things proportionally. So you hold down the Command key and the Shift key, and you grab the corner, and look, it'll scale your whole entire group. If you just grab the corner, you know, it just scales the boxes, and it doesn't scale the content. So in order to scale these things proportionally, I grab Command Shift, just like so. Okay, perfect. Drag this thing over a little bit, and then I could Command Shift this one. Oop, I'm going to grab that. You got to make sure I press Command Shift before, and there we go. I've enlarged my my layout. But let's just back this thing up. If I was smart, I hold Command Shift while I have the whole thing selected, and it just scales the whole thing at once. Genius.